Drills Talk, episode 176. In this episode, we're going to discuss the top 3 reasons people are not to be idolized. This is based on a blog I wrote in the past entitled, Admire Success, Not the Person. It's very easy to idolize people. It's a mistake that we make on a daily basis. People are not perfect. People make mistakes. We're going to discuss why people are not to be idolized. We're discussing that the ideal is to idolize success. Take the person out of it. That way you're striving towards something that you can achieve, not achieve as that person or feel the need to achieve it like that person. Let's go. Yo, Drills Talk, episode 176. In this episode, we're going to discuss the top 3 reasons people are not to be idolized. But before we get started, please like, subscribe, show your love however you would like to show your love. Here we're on entrepreneurship/mindset motivation channel. Every Monday there's a new blog. Every Wednesday there's a new Drills Talk. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Let's get started. Number one is people make mistakes. We all make mistakes. People are going to make mistakes, and if you idolize them and you see them as this perfect being, or you see them as what you want to be, and they do something you don't necessarily agree with, now you're lost. Now you don't understand, right? Now, how did this person do this? Why did this person do this? Everything would be so good if they just didn't do that. Well, that's their life, and that's their mistake to fix. But your problem is not necessarily their mistake. Your problem is that you put this person on a pedestal instead of their success. You wanted their success, and somehow you got intertwined in their success being part of them. Right? Their success is not part of them. They are successful. They were successful doing that, but it's not all theirs. It doesn't have anything to do with them being them. Their success is success because of work, because of due diligence, because of preparation, all of that stuff. And if you admire their success instead of them making a mistake wouldn't be a problem. But because you do, and you kind of put them in there with their success and what you want to be, their mistakes feels like your mistakes, or if they don't, it feels like you're at a loss in your journey towards that same success. And we don't need to confuse ourselves like that. People aren't perfect, but success can be. You know what I mean? Success can be an ideal because it's not a person, it's not a thing, it's just a status, right? It's just there. And it's not going to do something that, a person can do. It's not going to lose your trust. It's not going to maybe make a mistake you never thought was possible because you're admiring the success. Success is just something that is aspiring, right? You can just say, I want to be successful. A person, you can say, goodness, that person's so great, but why are they so great? Is it because of a skill, or is it because of their success displaying that skill, right? We really need to attempt to take the person out of the success and know that people make mistakes. And the minute they do make a mistake, they're not looking so idealistic anymore. Number two is people change. So that person that you really, clicked with because they were kind of like you and they were successful at something you wanted to be successful at. And then all of a sudden a life event happens in theirs, and they're no longer that person. You really felt cool with this guy who was rapping about getting all the girls and, all the attention and sleeping with woman to woman and all this other stuff. And then 2 albums down the line, they're married and they're not rapping about that anymore. They're not singing about that anymore. And you're kind of at a loss. Why? They changed. They grew, and you will too. But if you admire the success, okay, yeah, right now where I am in life, I can see and I kind of bond with the words that they're saying. But as I get older, maybe I won't anymore. And if I do, cool, but that's not me bonding with the person. That's me bonding with that person at that time, which means you're not bonding with the person, right? You're bonding with a period of time or a version of them which may not ever be the same. They may not never be that person again. And the fact that you are idolizing them for what they're saying at that moment, maybe they change their minds, and now what do? They flipped. They're 180. Everything that they were talking about before, they're totally against it. And you admire their success talking about this, and maybe they don't have as much success talking about the other stuff, the adult things, and maybe, you know, owning real estate and things like that. People kind of shut them off. And you see that. And now it's like, well, you know, they were successful talking about this. I don't know why they did that. Well, they grew up. They changed. You will too. They were successful enough to make some money talking about the stuff that you liked to where they don't have to talk about that anymore. Maybe it wasn't them. Maybe it was them. Who knows? But why are you kind of intertwining and making them your idol based on what they're talking about at a certain period of time? Because to tell you the truth, if you take yourself and your words and who you were when you were 13 versus who you were when you were 18 versus who you were when you were 21, those are 4 different people too. And then what? Number three is people put on acts. So when we see these people on TV, most of them are entertainers, right? Because that's where our idols come from. Not a lot of us have idols who are doctors, lawyers, you know, things like that. Most of them are entertainers in some sort of capacity. They can be actors, actresses, musicians, whatever, socialites. They really don't have a talent. They're just around all the time. And for some reason, we see that the attention they get is a success, and we admire that. Okay, cool. But we also admire that person. And now our admiration kind of includes people who are not even that person. Like that person that you see, that act that they put on is just that. It's an act. They have nothing to do with what they're talking about. They're just putting on a show. They're entertaining you. And you took that entertainment 3, 4, 5 steps too far. And now you believe in that this person is that person. And when you find out that it was all an act and they were just doing that for entertainment purposes, again, you're at a loss because you idolized them for what they were portraying. And they weren't that person. It was fake. But if you admire the success, you can say, oh, well, this person was very successful. I don't know them personally. I don't know if this is really who they are, but I admire their success. They worked at something, whether it was a version of them, whether it was a complete act, whatever it was, I admire that success. People are not to be idolized. And yes, you will find yourself, you know, idolizing people. You will catch yourself. But when you do, understand that what you really respect about that person or idolize about that person is the fact that they were successful, not the person themselves. And when we detach the person out of success, we can actually boost ourselves and give ourselves more of an opportunity of being successful because we don't feel that we have to be anything like this person. We just know that we're working towards the success that they gained. Drills Talk, episode 176. These are the top 3 reasons people should not be idolized. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It's drills.com. Check this shit out. It's Drills.